Welcome to episode 2. Last week we had a good show, but it was kind of long segment, so we're going to keep it shorter. So hopefully you pay a little bit more attention, and we can see what goes on from there.
Yeah, this is a work in progress, obviously. So we're going to make modifications as we go along and see what works and see what doesn't, and hopefully get some feedback from you guys, and you can tell us what you like, what you don't like, and then, that's the way it goes.
Yep. So my personal life, I had my dentist appointment, which went better than expected. I didn't have to pay anything for it. It was just checking up on the tooth that they need to do work on. Tomorrow, Monday, they sent me to a specialist. He's going to put a post in the tooth so that they can put the new crown on it. And then I talked with them and discovered that part of the reason why we've been having trouble getting appointments is that they're popular enough that basic cleanings, it's really difficult to get an appointment. But other work, not as difficult, but just basic cleanings. So the dental scenario going better than I thought it was. So that was good news.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool on a personal level.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe we can make a discussion into this about, dental health insurance in general.
Sure.
Because I didn't realize this, and I'm not sure if it was this way or always been this way, but in the last decade or so, I've had to do a lot of dental work. I mean, I probably literally paid for half my dentist car, or maybe
down payment at least. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
several times over.
Obviously, he's got his overhead. He's got to pay all these people and things like that. But the amount of money I spent could have bought a car, literally. So, and most of that was out of my pocket. And even with insurance, I think one of my best premiums, I had $1,500 max for the year until I had to start paying out of my pocket.
Oh,
you see what
not as nice. I had it reversed in my head with that.
And I looked that up, and it's my understanding that's normal. Like $1,000 to $1,500, $2,000 is the max they will pay.
I mean,
how can that even be? Is that true?
It is fairly normal. What I mean is, there are plans that are better than that, but they're considered good or unusual plans, not. I mean, normal is kind of what you described, unfortunately.
Right. So if you go in to get a crown, for example, you've maxed out for the year.
Right. I mean, that's like $500 to $1,000 right there.
One incident a year, and you're done. There goes, and everything else is out of your pocket, and you're still paying on top of that whatever your premium is.
Yeah, and then on top of that, it's treated as different than your regular insurance. So your regular insurance might actually be pretty good, but your dental could be crap.
Right, and in some of these situations, this is not cosmetic surgery. This is not about vanity and trying to get teeth whitening or some kind of veneers or anything like that. We're talking about stuff that could lead to infection and serious medical emergencies. Which now, and then why a separation? Why a separation when that is a medical emergency? When you're talking about
the way
people used to die of
vision is separate as well, which also doesn't make any sense. I mean, if I take these off, I'm not legally allowed to drive. So
it's a danger to you and society.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's not a strong prescription, but it's just strong enough.
Think about it. In the past, people would die often from tooth
decay and
abscesses and things. Goes to your brain and you're dead.
Right.
It's serious business. It's nothing to play around with. And here we are in the United States of America, and $15,000 to $2,000 a year max is what you're getting, and that'll be one incident.
Yeah, and we're literally the only country in the first world, or whatever that means, that doesn't have what's the term?
Comprehensive
universal
healthcare of some
That's,
sort.
Yeah.
It's some variation or a very affordable, extremely affordable healthcare system.
I mean, the ACA is barely making it so that some people can afford to have health care that isn't through their employer. But effectively, if you want anything close to real health care, you have to have it through your employer or your spouse's employer, which forces you to stay with an employer, which forces you to stay with a spouse, which forces you to jump through all kinds of different hoops that you might not otherwise do.
And here's the thing about the affordable health care. It's really good if you're very poor. And there has been times that I have been very poor, and when I did utilize it, I was able to get huge subsidies, so I didn't pay that much, in certain cases for a certain period of time. However, in Texas, and I believe a few other states, they didn't take the federal money So that if you make less than 15, 16,000 years, whatever it is, I mean, I don't know if those numbers are exact, it's somewhere around that range, you can't even qualify for it. So if you are too poor in Texas, you don't even get it, which is insane because everywhere else.
And if you're too rich is the wrong word, but if you make too much, then you can't get it either.
Right, and too much to them is like 55,000 a year,
which is actually below the poverty level.
Right. So we're gonna put a pause on this right now. We got food coming. So we just got our food, and today
we have street taco with shrimp,
lemon steak, banh mi. Can't go wrong. Excellent place to get this at Bonatic here in Austin, Texas. So anyways, back to the discussion. So yeah, so you don't qualify if you make too little in Texas and a few other states who are stupid enough, so stupid that they're going to penalize you for being too broke. And if you make over a certain amount, which is still barely squeaking by, if you have a family, you're not even squeaking by, you're in poverty, essentially, then you start paying these massive premiums once again. So there's a little sweet spot to where if you're, in my estimation, destitute, you might not be living in the street, but you're getting a good deal between like probably 20 grand and 30, 40 grand. You're getting a pretty good chunk. But if you're trying to survive on your own, or even just maybe with a couple roommates or something, you're younger, you're still going to be, it's brutal. It's freaking brutal. So maybe we can cut it off here.
Yeah.
And then we'll come on to another discussion. So we'll make this part one, healthcare, dental health, and medical health in the United States. That's pretty much what our discussion was.
Because that, honestly, as bad as it is, it sounds nicer than some of the bigger discussion that we were trying to have last week. So.
All right.